Good day, everyone. Today I am going to share again. It is actually two sample problems, which I'm going to address it and do some programming by using for loop statement. Okay, and along the way, while I am trying to to discuss my program line by line, I might be giving you some techniques in analyzing problems in as much as loops are concerned. Okay, and I hope that I can give you something useful today in as much as your programming journey is concerned. And I am sincerely appealing to you guys that if you have friends who are planning to enroll BSIT or BSComSci and who are willing to to learn programming in a way, I would like to request you to please share my YouTube channel for them to to have an idea of the programming way, because for me, and even when I was in college, I think the best foundation of programming course is by way of learning C programming language, and then from this C programming, you'll then migrate to another programming languages that are in as of today, right? So that's my personal idea, and I hope you will share my video, my YouTube channel. Okay, thank you so much in advance. And here, um, I have actually two problems in here, right? Uh, the problem says design a program to display the following. So there are actually two. I'm sorry, two screen output. The first one, never mind this 4, 3, 8, 7, 12, and 11. Okay, just focus in here. 1, 5, 2, 10, 3, 15, 4, 25, 25. Okay, program that will display this output, and then the second program will display this one. Okay, so when I was in college, and I can still remember my instructor in C and in data abstraction when I was in USGR. He used to give us problems like this, and my way of solving is I try to look at the gap between the first value and the second, and the third and the fourth, and so on and so forth. And then once I'll be able to establish common cycle, then I can identify as to how many formulas that I need for a single loop statement, because this particular setup or screen output needs one loop only. Same with here. You need to have one for loop statement and create some formulas within. Okay, so that is why in here I try to get the difference between 1 and 5, and that's 4. Okay, please follow. This is somewhat technical. Okay, so please listen and try to digest. Okay, the interval between 1 and 5 is 4, right? And then the interval of 5 and 2 is 3. Are you following? Then the interval of 2 and 10 is 8. Then 10 and 3 is 7. Okay, get it? 3 and 15 is 12, right? And then 15 and 4 is 11, and so on and so forth. Now, why did I stop at this page? I have now an idea that this single loop screen output needs at least two formulas. Why? Look at this: 4, 3, 8, 7, 12, 11. Okay, so the interval between 4 and 3 is 1, 8 and 7 is 1, 12 and 11 is 1, and the first value is always higher than the second. The first value is always higher than the second. The first value is always higher than the second. Meaning, in one loop time, you need to create at least two formulas, and you can hit that screen output. Okay, look at this. If that is the first formula, Okay, that might be a value for I, right? And then that's my one. This one is the second formula. I cannot yet uh, create the formula out from here, but I know 5 is needs for me to have another formula. The second loop is 2. This is the first formula, right? And this can be the second value of I. So meaning, if I can use I as my loop variable, right? So I have now an idea that whatever is the value of I, then that will be printed on the screen. The second formula is still unknown for now. The third one, which I'm sure this is it. This is the first formula is actually for me I. So I plus plus, right? Are you following? Then the next one is actually the second formula, which is still unknown at this time. Then the next one is the first formula, which can be my I. Right? Are you following? This is my way of thinking when I was in college. The next value is the second formula, and the next one is the first formula, which is actually I value. Then the last one is the second formula. So then, by way of looking at this, analysis, I can use I as my, I can say, for I is equal to 1, right? I is what? Less than or equal to 5, because I need to end up at 5, right? And then increase the value of I, right? So at least I have now an idea as to how much or what is the range for my loop statement. Okay, and my concern now is on the second formula, this unknown here. Okay, we need to create formula from here. And when I was in college, and even now, I used to create a formula and using my I as my baseline, right? So for example, if I is 1 and the next value is 5, how could I get 5 by using 1? Right? So I might say x is equal to I plus 4 to get the result of 5, right? Are you following? If I is 1. Now, using the same formula, I plus 4, the problems is, can I get 10? Right? Because on the first one, I get 5 because I is 1 plus 4, that's 5. The next line, which is I need to get 10, if I here is 2, right? Plus 4, that is how much? 6. So meaning the formula is wrong. So I need to look for another formula. So that's how I did when I was in college. I need to do some trial and errors. I need to create, formulas out from the scratch. Basta in my case, I always use my loop value as my baseline for creating a formula. So how could I get 5? Knowing nga the second formula or the second value needs to be 10, and the formula that I'm using gives only 6. So I need to change the formula. So in here I can say that if I can multiply, right? If I can multiply whatever is the value of I by 5, this could be it, right? this might be correct. So in here, if that is the formula, um, times 5, right? So the result is how much? Um, in here, the value of I is 2. Times 5, that's how much? 10. This might be the correct formula. We'll try the next value. X is equal to I times 5. At this time, our I is 3 times 5, that is 15. Correct? This is correct, right? And the next one is X is equal to I times 5. So I is 4 at this times 5, that is 20. So this is correct, right? The last value is same formula. I times 5 is equal to, our I at this is 5 times 5, and that is 25. So meaning, this is it, right? So you can use for I is equal to 1, and check if I is less than or equal to 5, then increase the value of I by 1 every time it loops, right? And our program will exit from the loop when I is equal to 6. And the formula is what? This one, huh? Printf, right? How is that? %d, whatever is the value of I, right? The next one is printf, okay, %d I times 5. Okay, so that's it. This is how I address programming problems like this, and when I am to use for loop statement. Okay, number one, I'd love to check for the gap between the first value and the second, then the second value and the third value and the fourth, and so on and so forth. Once I see something common, then based on that commonality, I then create formulas. I then decide as to how many formulas that I need. So in this particular example, I have here a common pattern, and so I decided to have 2 formulas, and this is it. The first formula is to just simply print whatever is the value of the loop. The second formula is whatever is the value of the loop, multiply it by 5. Okay, now let's do programming. We'll try if the idea is okay. Include, okay, stdio.h. I hope you're following. Okay, this is a little bit technical, but please comment on this video if you need to, if you need another explanation, so I can create another video also. So int I, right? And then for, what is that? For I is equal to 1, right? I is less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. Are you following? So that's it. Then what is that? Print if %d, a placeholder, and whatever is the value of I, right? And in here, the second formula, whatever is the value of I, place it here at data placeholder, and then get I times 5. And since I am using an integer main function, I need to return anything. Okay, so this is it. I have here declared I as an integer variable, and so I need integral value. And I tend, in for loop statement, there are 3 major things that you need to look into: initialization, conditions, and incrementations. So my initialization is I is equal to 1. Why? Because the problem demands it that I should start from 1. Then check the condition if I is less than or equal to 5. Why? Because based on my analysis, my last value should be at 5. Okay, so that's it. And then why should I increase it by 1 I plus plus? Because it's in the problem. First value by is 1, second is 2, third is 3, fourth is 4, 5 is 5, fifth is 5, right? And I didn't display whatever is the value by. And the next formula is multiply by 5, whatever is I. Okay? Now, we'll try running this program. Let's see if it addresses the problem. Okay? Oh, we need to have some, backslash n in here to move our cursor next line. Okay, so backslash n. So here, okay, you're following. So I have here 1, 5, 2, 10, 3, 15, 4, 25, 25. Is this correct? Right, we'll check. 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, 2, 10, 3, 15, right? 10, 3, 15, correct ba? Yeah, 10, 3, 15, and 4, 25. 4, 25, the last value is 25. So the last value in here is how much? 25. Okay, so therefore my analysis is correct. Right? Are you following? Did you get my point? Did I discuss my idea properly? Because if not, then we'll give another example. Okay, so how much then is the last value of I when it exits from the loop? Based on the for loop statement, if our I increases by 1 every time it loops, it will exit if the value of I is 6. Right? It will exit. So to prove that, we'll add another printf statement. Okay? Printf the last value of I when it exits is %d, right? And comma whatever is the value of I. We'll try running this program. Okay, here. So the last, we'll put backslash n in here. Okay, and we'll try clicking run button. So the last value of I is 6. Okay, so I hope I made it clear. Okay, I hope I made it clear. Now let us move on to the next problem. The same, you have to design a program to display the following and then make use of a single for loop statement. Okay, now how are we going to analyze the screen output? Again, like I said, try to establish commonality. Check the gap or the difference between the first value, second value, third value, fourth value, until you can see clearly the common denominator in it. Okay, so the difference between 2 and 4 is pila 2. The difference between 4 and 1 is 3, right? And the difference between 1 and 4 is 3. Are you following? And in here, the difference is how much? 12. Okay? And the next one, the difference is how much? 12. 12 ba? 14, yeah, 12. Okay? And the next one, the difference is how much? 12, the difference is 2, alright? And the next, the difference is how much? 36, 30. I hope I can get some common values in here. The difference is how much? 36 minus 9. How is that? 27. see. I'll try to use calculator. 36 minus minus 9 is 27. I hope I can see common in here. Uh, the difference is 1. The difference is, I don't know. How are we going to address this problem? The difference is, how much is that? 64 minus 8. I'm sorry. 64 minus 8, that's 56. Okay. And then in here to 54, 56, that's how much? 64 minus 16, that's 48. Okay. So let's try to look at here. Now, okay. If you can see, we'll try to look at this. Look at this way. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So meaning in between 1, 2, and 3, there are 2 values. So meaning for me, the way I look at this problem, there are actually 3 formulas in here. Okay, there are actually 3 formulas. Because I can see clearly the pattern in here. Okay, so after 1 there are 2 big values, after 2 there are 2, after 3 there are another 2 sets of values. So there are actually 3 values in here, and we need to create 3 formulas. So if there is 3 formulas in here, so we can then group these values by 3. So this is the first set, the second set, right, the third set, and the fourth set. So if there are 4, so we can use in here, right, if there are 4 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, because based on my analysis, based on our analysis, there are actually three formulas. This one, 30, 30, 27, and 1. The next 3 formulas is 12, 12, and 2. Because of this 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So if we are to group this screen output by 3, so this is the first 2, 4, 1. This is the first group 2. Okay, 4 and 1, right? And then the second group is how much? 4, 16, and 4. So the second group is 4, right? 16 and 4. The third group is, how much is that? This one, 6, 36, and 9, right? So 6, are you following? 36 and 9. And then the last group is this one, 8, 64, and 16. So the last group is 8, 64, and 16. Okay? So look at this. This is so clear. 2, 4, 6, 8. So if we will be using I as our loop variable, we can start I at 1 up to I is equal to 4, right? So we can say for I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to 4, right? I plus plus. That's it. Because of this one. And how to display 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? Simple. You can say printf data placeholder, whatever is your I, right? Multiply it by 2. If your I is 1 times 2, that's 2. If your I is 2 times 2, that's 4. If your I is 3 times 2, that's 6. If your I is 4 times 2, that's 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Are you following? Okay? And then how about 4, 16, 36? How about 4, 16, 36? What is that? 4, 16, 36. What is the formula for 4, 16, 36? If I is 1, multiply it by 1, that's 1. So this is it in programming. You have to critically think formulas out from the scratch, okay, by way of just checking the common flow, okay. And in here you have here 1, 4, 9, 16. So if this is 4, right? In here, simple. 2 times 2 is 4, right? 4 times 4 is 16. 6 times 6 is 36. 8 times 8 is 64. So whatever is the value of the result of the first 2, 4, 6, 18, multiply it by itself, then that's the second set of formula. So you can say here, I'm sorry, we'll try to delete this one, and we'll add another formula. X is equal to I times 2, right? And then you can then say printf, right? Printf data placeholder, right? And then display the x, and this line here will display 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right? And then the second line, you have to say printf, right, %d x, then multiply it by itself, diba? Because if your x is 2 times 2, 4. If your x is 4 times 4, 16. If your x is 6 times 4, 36. If your x is 8 times 8 is 64, right? And how about this one? 1, 4, 9, 16. Very simple. If your I is 1, multiply it by I, that's 1. If your I is 2, multiply it by I, that's 4. If your I is 3, multiply it by 3, that's 9. If your I is 4, multiply it by 4, 16. Right? So, that's why that I said a while ago, my discussion today is a little bit technical, so I have to listen. Oh, okay. Here, print. Programming is an art, right? Programming is an art. I told you, programming is an art. So be a scientist. Be a scientist of formulas. So this is it, right? So we'll try to create programs. Are you following? We'll try to create programs. So I would like to share with you my screen, and we'll try to do some programming. Okay? So include stdio.h, right? And int main. Okay, what is that? Int I, int x. We need to have x variable, right? And then we can start our for loop. Right? Our I should start at 1, right? And we'll check if our I is equal to 4, because we need to end our loop at 4. Are you following? Then increase the value of I by 1 every time it loops. Then we need to have this curly bracket, because this is part of the syntax. And then what was that? we need to create this formula, right? So we can say x is equal to I times 2, right? And whatever is the result of that, display. Ah, sorry. Display, right? So percent %d, comma, then x. That will eventually display to 4, 6, 18 because whatever is your I times 2. Whatever is your I times 2. If your I is 3 times 2, that's 6. So 2, 4, 6, 18. The second one is printf, okay? Whatever is x, multiply it by x. And then the last one is printf %d, whatever is your I, times I. Okay. So I hope this is correct. I hope our interpretation to the problem is correct. I hope our analysis is absolutely correct, because if not, then we'll go back to the basic. Identify the gap, look for common denominators, and from that, do some groupings as to how many loops that a certain screen output needs to, and then how many formulas that we need to create out from nothing, right? So we'll try running this program. Oh, sorry. We'll add backslash in here. Sorry. Backslash n and backslash n. Alright. So run again. I hope you're following. Okay, I hope you're following. This is a good mental exercise. Oh, here. 2, 4, 1, 4, 16, 4. Is this correct? 16, 3, 6, 9, 8, 6, 4, 16. We'll try it. The first set is 2, 4, 1. Let's go back to our notepad. 2, 4, 1. This is correct. The second is 4, 16, 4. 4, 16, 4. 4, 16, 4. Then the next is 6, 36, and 9. 6, 36, and 9. 6, 36, and 9. And the last values 8, 64, 16. 8, 64, and 16. Therefore, our analysis is correct. Our program targets the problem. And technically, our program is correct because we are only using single loop statement by creating 3 formulas out from our analysis. Okay? So the question is, how much then is the value of I when it exists? Let's see. The value of I think is 5. Okay? So printf in here, we'll try to put some backslash in. Last exit. Let's see. Exit value of I is %day, and then whatever is the value by. Okay. Then we'll run this program. Let's see if 5 is the last value by. So I am correct, no? Exit value by is 5. Okay. So I hope I shared something useful today, and I hope these techniques of analyzing loop problems gives you idea. And if there's a need for me to give another example, just comment on this video, and eventually I'll be creating another video for you. No? My concern is your learnings now. As long as you're learning, then that's fine. That's my intentions of creating this YouTube channel. Okay, so thank you so much for now. I hope I shared something relevant today, and I hope you'll be enjoying programming. Programming is, of course, It is a little bit challenging, but if you're willing to do the hard thinking, if you're willing to get tired of yourself, if you're willing to study hard, then programming is very possible. And eventually, you'll be enjoying your life when you're good in programming. You'll be landing good jobs. You'll be earning so much, and you'll become blessings to your parents and to your neighbors. Okay, so thank you so much. God bless you. God bless us all. God is good. Thank you.